I'm a comedian, and my most recent set was delivered to an empty room. Written by Lopsided Internet 56. No, this is not a joke. It's not that I'm not funny either. My mom thinks I'm hilarious, which is obviously an infallible testament to my abilities. This wasn't one of those situations where I started with a full crowd and by the middle of my rant on airline food they all left, leaving me on stage covered in tomatoes with a slightly more deflated ego. No, when I say I delivered my most recent set to an empty room, I mean it. Literally what I did from start to finish. That's what I was told to do. Wait, do you want me to do what? I lowered my water bottle, staring at the guy who just delivered the news. Argyle, the event coordinator. The only way to describe Argyle is to say his parents made the right decision when naming him. With his frizzy red ponytail and hippie fit, he looked like he'd be booted off a concert tour in the 70s and survived on nothing but gas station food from that point on forward.
I said,
Argyle repeated, crouching down to the couch where I was sprawled upon.
The boss man wants you to perform at 2 o'clock. What's the problem here?
I frowned. What? You can't say I can do 10 right after McKinsley finishes his gig? If you wanted me at 2, why'd you call me 5 fucking hours early?
It's a last minute change. Our usual guy, Spike Scotts, you know him. He's, let's just say he's, unavailable,
Argyle said.
Which is why we're moving you over to fill his slot. Again, what's the problem?
The problem? I said straight. Dude, the problem is that the club closes at 1:45. Who exactly am I performing for if you kick everybody out by then?
Well, that's not for you to worry about.
Right. Not having an audience definitely sounds like something I shouldn't be worried about.
Listen, kid, do you want your money or not? I'd consider the 75 for the night to be pretty generous considering you're just starting out.
Argyle gave me a pointed look.
Fuck you, Argyle.
I rolled my eyes. Okay, you win. Make it an even 100 and I'll do it.
80.
No, 100.
85.
100. 90? 100. We ended up settling on 100. Jesus, the club must have been really desperate. I waited in the break room for 4 goddamn hours after Argyle left, watching as the other comedians and entertainers came and left, bidding me farewell when they did. And when the clock finally hit 1:45, the laughs and the chatter slowly started to dissipate until it was completely gone. Dead silence.
Hey, are you ready?
It was Argyle. He stood by the door, a man purse hoisted on his shoulders. I got to my feet, ignoring white-hot needles prickling at my legs as I did.
Wait, dude, you're leaving?
Argyle raised his eyebrows.
Yeah, it's 1:55. You gotta be kidding me, I said. There is no way, so you're just gonna leave me here, alone. Who said you were gonna be alone?
I don't know why, but that sent me a small shiver down my spine. I followed Argyle out into the break room, my heart palpitating at the supersonic speeds. I had been nervous before sets, but nothing compared to this. I thought the club owners were playing some weird prank on me. Maybe there would be a secret audience full of people, but they just told them to be silent. Then right when the poor young comedian enters the room, they all collectively yell, "Boo!" and then we'd all go viral on TikTok. But that wasn't the case at all. See, the room really was empty. The tables and chairs were neatly put back in place. The staff were all gone too. What was especially strange, however, was that the lights were dimmed down even more than normal. The candles that were all graced in the otherwise clear tabletops, their soft luminescence barely illuminated anything.
All right, good luck, kid,
I heard Argyle say, slap me on the back.
Just treat it like it's any other show. Don't be boring. Because if you aren't funny, well, never mind. Doesn't matter. You're gonna kill it in there.
Sure, thanks. But wait, but Argyle? Argyle was gone. I looked around, baffled, weird. I glanced at my watch. 1:59. I really wanted the $100, so I guess I didn't have a choice. With a deep breath, I took a step forward, took onto the stage. Usually I'd be met with a spattering of totally deserved applause, but I was met with nothing this time. I'd probably die on the spot, though, if I heard something even as benign as a cough. "Hello, hello, hello," I said once I reached the mic. "Wow, big turnout this evening, huh?" Low-hanging fruit, I know, but it's not like I'd met with jeers or anything. I cleared my throat. You know, some would say an empty room is a comedian's worst nightmare. I wouldn't say that, however. An empty room should really be considered a comedian's wet dream, because I'd argue a full crowd is an even bigger nightmare. If we weren't afraid of people, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, and the majority of us wouldn't be virgins either. I had to fill in the blanks to keep myself sane as the ludicrousy of the situation just slowly started to catch up on me. The room was much colder than I remember it being. It was almost like someone had deliberately cranked down the thermostat. My teeth started to chatter as I continued. Yeah, so, speaking of sex, women, huh? Women, love them? They don't really love me back, however. Seeing as how fast my last relationship ended. I went on like this for a while, joke after joke after joke, burning through my materials and being met with nothing but silence. I don't know why I was taking this so seriously. Again, I knew I looked like an idiot, talking out loud to an empty room, but something Argyle had said stuck with me in the back of my mind. Just treat it like any other show. Don't be boring, because if you aren't funny, well, never mind. It doesn't matter. I felt like it did matter, which is why I forced myself to keep going, my eyes scanning each tabletop as if I was trying to find anything remotely humanesque, but of course, they found nothing. No one. My heart was still beating like a jackhammer, and my teeth still chattered when I talked. Even though objectively speaking the room was really empty, I still feel like I was being watched. It wasn't a good feeling. No wonder Spike Scott suddenly became unavailable, I thought as I moved in closer. I met him a couple of times. He was the one who originally suggested I perform in this club after seeing some of my material at an open mic night. Spike was one of the palest people I'd ever met in my life. He had gaunt-like features that screamed malnourished. He was wearing this large, dark green woolen coat over what I could only guess were half a dozen other layers. His teeth were chattering too. I thought he made a Make-A-Wish kid when he first approached me, but turns out the dude was a 40-year-old comic veteran. All my friends in comedy told me he was a big deal, even though I'd never heard of him before. Yet he wanted me here. Something told me Spike never intended for me to perform at 10 p.m. to a full house, but to an empty one at 2 a.m. instead. And that's why 9/11 wasn't completely Al-Qaeda's fault, I concluded finally. No. It was United's for serving the worst meal known to mankind, even terrorists. Thank you. I bowed, pretending the room had burst into applause yet again, and I left, my stomach rolling with an odd mixture of fear and, weirdly, excitement. I packed up my backpack in the break room, panting as heavily as I did, slung it over my shoulder. Then I exited the club, escaping into the biting night. Presumably $100 richer, and I was just about to turn the corner when I noticed something horrifying. I tore my eyes away from what I had just seen, and I looked down on my phone. It was a message from Argyle. "Hey man, nice work. Everyone loved you. Would you be free to perform tomorrow night as well?" I quickly threw my phone back into my pocket and sped walked away from the dumpster. My blood is icy as the Arctic, and my skin definitely a little paler now, more gaunt. I don't know if my eyes were playing tricks on me, but I swear I saw the dark green sleeve of a coat sticking out from that dumpster, matted, dirty, and caked with just a sliver of dry blood. That was I'm a Comedian, and my most recent set was Delivered to an Empty Room. Written by Lopsided Internet 56.